This time I'm going to record. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Fatima.
John here.
Cyrene, hi.
Thanks for joining us. And today we are going to be talking about comfort foods and how a lot of times when we think of comfort foods, we associate that with our childhood, as well as, it takes us to our happy place, but sometimes it also has a negative effect on us and it can do some harm. So we're actually going to get into it a little bit more. And if you have any questions, please ask them and we will get them at the end. So guys, what are your comfort foods? I know like we all have our different comfort foods that we like.
Well, when I was growing up, my favorite one was dal, which is lentils. It's yellow and it's almost, you can make it into a soup. You used to have, and it's with cumin seeds and onions and it's just so tasty the way my mom and dad cook it with love. And then you just pair it off with like rice and maybe cucumber chutney or cilantro chutney. And that was so filling. And I don't make it at home. So every time I go to my parents' place, I said, can you please make it for me? It's like, oh, thanks for the comfort food, mom and dad.
Well, see, your comfort food is actually very healthy. And for me, I never liked dal at all. Like I never found it to be filling or anything. I'm like, this is a waste of food.
What
This
is
is a
that?
waste of space.
Hey, Fatima, we're being positive here, not negative. Concentrate on the positive stuff, hon.
What is that dish?
Peace
What
and
is
light.
that dish? What is
It's
this
called,
dish?
it's called, so it's a lentil.
Okay.
So basically there's different types of lentil and you can cook it different ways, but this particular one, it's basically like a sauce, like very
It's a soup. Yeah, soupy.
Oh, okay. It's like, is it a
It's an
curry or
Indian
is it not
dish.
a curry?
it's like a curry.
But it's
So
more watery.
it's watery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a lot of protein. So someone who's vegetarian who
Or
can,
vegan.
or vegan will get their proteins from that.
Yes.
But I mean, we have our different effects. It has different effects on different people, right? Like Cyrene loves it. I don't like it. I honestly like it.
Let's, Fatima, concentrate on what you love, okay? Instead of this. Come on, girl. Get it going.
It's not that. Okay, so anyways, yes, John, what's your comfort food?
Okay. This one, my dad just gave me the recipe literally about 2 months ago, but I don't know how he makes it. I to this day can't figure it out. But it's short ribs. So short ribs, how
Yeah.
you can get them really cut thin, like the Maui style, like the really thin cut ones with the little bones in it. He gets them thick cut, so they're like 2-3 inches big. So they're like your fist, okay? And he puts it into like a what do you call it? A pressure cooker. I guess he doesn't use like an instant pot, so he uses it in the pressure cooker, and he puts like carrots in it, and he puts the sauce in it, and he just puts it on there for about 30 or 40 minutes, and it comes out and it's fork tender. Like you can literally it just falls apart, but it has so much flavor, and it's got not a lot of gravy, but it's just got a really thick, rich. Great, like my mouth is watering right now.
Yeah, mine is too, except minus the pork.
Yeah, but so it's beef though. It's beef, right? And you can basically eat it on rice or like mashed potatoes or something. But it's kind of like almost like I don't even know what it's called. He just kind of made it 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and he just makes it once in a while. It is the go-to dish. Like that, I can eat that any day of the year.
So then does he like barbecue it or?
No, it just comes in the pressure cooker, and he basically cooks it, and so the pressure and I guess the sauce, breaks down the fiber. Because sometimes short ribs can be fibrous, right? Like very chewy.
Yeah.
But this is it's tender, and it's got so much flavor because it's pressure cooked, so all the juices and the sauce gets infused into the meat down to the bone.
Does he marinate it the night before?
No, nothing. He just throws it all into because if it's a pressure cooker,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
and then
you could cook it on like a slow cooker or even like
you can do that.
Instapot now.
Yeah. So I'm trying to ask him to see if I can. So he gave me the recipe. I'm gonna try it in the Instapot, and I'll see if it works out. But it doesn't, it's gonna be an expensive dish I ruined, right? Because short ribs are not that cheap, right?
You'll have to keep us posted, John.
Yeah.
Have you cooked anything in a slow cooker or pressure cooker yet?
No, I'm scared of the pressure cooker. I let him take care of it. But we got the Instapot, so that's a little bit more safer, I guess. But again, we haven't tried that dish ever in any kind of format, so I'm just hoping that it'll turn out somewhat close to it, and then just kind of fine tune it. But
So
that's
for me,
that's one of them.
sorry, go on.
No, I'm done.
For you?
For you?
For me, I've got a few different comfort foods. One, when I'm not feeling so great, it's a pilau, and I like to have it a little bit spicier.
Yeah.
So it's a rice dish with chicken and potato. So very high glycemic, like super high glycemic, but it's like it's such a nice comfort food. It's like very filling, or even so it's like we call it hodgepodge. Like if you look at it, it's hodgepodge. It's rice with green lentil, and it's all like boiled up together. So it's known as khichdi. But I like that's great when it's like raining or whatever. And then I have like the not so good comfort foods that are very, I mean, for me, my comfort foods have never really been healthier. They've all been kind of on the devilish side, I would say. McDonald's is sort of my comfort food. Yes, it's got that happy moment, like, instant gratification, but after it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? But see, for me, when I like McDonald's, it's like if I've had a really, really bad day or whatever, I just end up going to McDonald's. Or if someone has said something that sort of just triggers an emotion, I'll go to McDonald's. If someone has said something about my weight, rather than doing something opposite, and I've never been too heavy, but it's just, as women, we are cautious. So I go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So that's my bad one.
But there's a difference. Well, I don't know if there's a difference, but I think to me personally, there's a difference between stress eating and comfort food, right? Yes. And got to be careful with the stress eating, because I used to eat McDonald's, not a lot, but I still like it. I don't cut any of that out. It's just, now I think we've kind of, when you get to that point where you're choosing something, like on the moment, is which way you're going to go, McDonald's or something that's still comfort food, but it's maybe a little bit healthier or a lot more healthier, right? So that's kind of like the habit that you create.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I actually had McDonald's. So, like I appreciate where you guys are coming from. I like the fries and the hamburger, but I ended up finding out that I'm gluten intolerant and dairy free, right? So I had to, for my own health, change the way I eat now. Mm-hmm. And I actually I don't know if you guys saw the post, I made the seafood bolognese.
I did.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was just very simple with tomato sauce and cut up carrots and onions.
Gluten-free bread.
Oh my God, and gluten-free bread. Oh my, it was amazing. And I had tons of fresh seafood, which half I grilled and half I just cooked. It was so yummy.
Good. Yeah. But, the comfort food is things that bring us back to our childhood, right? Because a lot of these foods have been kind of, I guess, instilled on our brain, right? It's almost carried through us, and things will trigger our senses. Like, I know when my dad makes that short rib dish as soon as I walk in the house, because he's made it and he's like, oh, I got this for you. I'm like, oh yeah. But there's other things that now over the years that I've liked, like just things like actually my dad makes another one. He makes this kind of like a chicken cutlet instead of pork cutlet, like you bread it and you just fry it, and he makes this amazing sauce. I don't know what it is, but it takes a long time to make, because he takes chicken breast and he slices it very thin, because chicken breast is like it's pretty thick, right? Mm-hmm. So he slices it thin and he pounds it with a mallet, so he tenderizes it so it's like paper thin. Then he breads it or puts it in milk or buttermilk, breads it, eggs it, and then he fries it. Then he puts the sauce on it, and it's like that's the other one. So to this day I don't want to try that, because he's got that. It's kind of like KFC. He's got that secret thing.
He's got the technique down.
Yeah, it's perfect, and every time, and I can smell that when I go in the house. It's like, I can't make this stuff.
So, but then don't you ever want to learn to continue that tradition?
Yeah,
Pass it
yeah,
on to your kids and, whatever.
yeah. It's funny. My kids have this to this day have never tasted that dish
Oh, really?
because
Oh,
he's never made it in 15 years. At least not when I'm over. He might have made it for himself and my mom, but my kids have never tasted that dish. But my kids have tasted the short rib dish and they love it.
huh.
Yeah.
Another one that I absolutely love is a great steak with potatoes and some vegetables. So like either mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes, but with like asparagus. And like as soon as I see that, I'm just like, oh, my
Yeah.
mouth is like salivating. I'm so like, it's super juicy.
Yeah.
I will take that meal over any other meal.
So steak is the one for you.
I love steak. Like I absolutely love, I mean, I can't have it on a regular basis. That would be a lot of kidney stones. And I do not want to deal with kidney stones because I've seen what it does. My dad has kidney stones. So I mean, if I can get a good steak once a month,
Yeah.
I'm a happy camper. I'm one happy.
Also, yeah. Also, too much meat I think contributes to gout too, right? So you
Yeah.
got to eat
Yes.
that. How about you,
And-
Cyrene? Like, what's your one dish? If you were to say one dish,
You know what? We love cooking with beef tenderloins. So we either
Oh.
grill it or bake it, or because it's lean meat, right? And well, right now our go-to is like if it's a sunny day, yes, we're all over the barbecue. Like get out the sauce, but I can't have sauce, so salt and pepper and always a little bit of olive oil.
yeah. So it's just beef again. See, it's beef. I don't know what it is. It's beef. Like
There's something about the beef. It's just, it's hearty.
nothing smells like it, right? You can cook
Yeah.
chicken, you can cook pork, you can cook fish, you can cook bison, whatever. Nothing smells like steak. Like that's the
No.
weird thing. And I'm like Fatima and Cyrene, like gotta have the steak once in a while, but I know that beef doesn't agree with me, so it's kind of like the once a month treat thing too as well.
Yeah. I mean, and then if I went into like the ethnic dishes, I would say biryani. And the story, I actually have a story behind that. So when I was young, I wouldn't even touch this. I hated it. And my mom would always tell me, okay, if you want your hair to grow, then you got to have the biryani. So of course, I'm like 3 or 4, I'm eating the biryani. Like now it's like one of my favorite dishes. It's like, whenever, it's like a big celebration or whatever, I'll be like, can you make biryani? Can you make biryani? So what biryani is, it's rice. Okay, so Indians, we have a lot of high glycemic foods. If you're sort of probably starting to.
Yeah, I'm Chinese. We have rice too, right?
Yeah, I know, the Asians. And so it's rice, and then it's got saffron in it, and so the rice turns into like it's orange and yellow and whatever. And depending on the saffron, like the richer the saffron, the richer the color. So you get the flavor of the saffron, and then in the it's like a chicken like a really thick chicken curry with potato.
Oh,
So you can also eat it with bread as well. So it is pretty high glycemic.
High cholesterol too.
I always told my wife that in my previous life I was Indian because I can eat all day long. There's a few dishes I will not eat, but if you throw in like a good like a masala or like a chicken masala or anything with seafoods, prawns or whatever, or that dish that like the way you guys make the chickpeas, like it's like a chickpea curry. I don't know what it's called, or like the peas themselves.
Yes.
And then also of course butter chicken. Like I don't, but if they don't make it dry, the what's a tandoori chicken? Like it's got to have the flavor on it.
Tandoori chicken is amazing. Okay, so now when you're saying that, did you know that there's different types of, although there's many different types of Indians, even the food is very different. Our spices are similar. We use crossing spices, but they're very different. Like if you take an East Indian, say from Punjab, and take an Ismaili, our spices are, everything is very different.
Yeah.
Theirs is very heavy, ours is actually much lighter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
ours is in the middle.
Yeah.
In Fijian, so we don't cook with heavy duty spice. We just make it lighter.
Well, it's like Asia, right? I mean, like China,
Yeah.
right? China has like
Yeah.
probably 500 different kinds of ethnic cooking. Like you can make, the Szechuan, right, which is more on the spicy side, and then there's more the Buddhist stuff, right, which is like the vegetarian vegan stuff. So you have that. So you have the lighter dishes that are more vegetarian based, like a lot of plant based noodles and stuff like that. Then you have the heavier stuff where they do their own stir fries and all that stuff as well. So we kind of go through the dishes where you feel heavier after you're done eating them, and then you'll have dishes that are more lighter. So you even in between you have congee, right, like the porridge, which is our porridge, which is comfort food because it warms you up during when it's cold, and it's cheap because you kind of think of where comfort foods came in. Really, comfort foods were sometimes the cheaper
Yeah.
dishes that poor people couldn't afford, but they had to make it um, very nutrient and dense food so that it would sustain you through winter. So congee, I think, came out of it because it was leftover rice, right? So you just reboil it with a lot of stock or water, and you add your own vegetables and little meat that you have, and it creates like this dish that you can eat, which is similar to a curry because it's very dense. But that would sustain you through the cold winters and like the not so good times. But that's where the comfort food comes in.
My mom, when I visit my mom and dad, we have like a bok choy dish that doesn't have curry, but it has really nice light mustard seed and onions, and you just fry them up, and it becomes flavorful. So when I go to my mom and dad's, I hate to say it, but I bring home quite a few dishes. It's like, okay, on the list has to be my go-tos. It's like it has to be dal, and it has to be like a bok choy, like we call it bhaji. And then we have like bindi, which is okra dish, which is my favorite as well. So I think that we're pretty well stocked up for the week.
So there are like what Fatima touched on, like the fast food stuff, but there are healthy comfort foods and there's not so healthy comfort foods. But as long as you kind of balance those out and not just eat comfort foods every day that are on the unhealthy side, because they are comfort foods really have like usually not everything, but usually have more fat, more things that aren't so good for you because that's what tastes good. It's all that salt, the butters, the creams, and the thickeners or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and there was actually one comfort food that every Ismaili probably loves are samosas.
Oh,
Like our samosas, man, like they are just too good. Like I love them baked. So we used to fry them, and to get a little bit healthier, I bake mine, and now I love them baked. But I mean, I'm not gonna not eat the fried one because it's still a samosa.
But it's the sauce that puts it over the top as well. Like the different sauces you guys have.
I mean, I don't eat it with the sauce, but yeah, a lot of times there's different sauces that you go with it. Like the most popular one is it's made out of tamarind.
That's the red one, right? That's the red.
Yeah, it's like sweet and sour, sort of.
That one's good.
And
this is the green one. I remember the green one was super hot. That was a bad choice.
That could be either cilantro based or mint based.
I don't know. I just couldn't even taste anything. It was just. I thought it was like a vinaigrette, kind of like a pickleish thing. So I didn't know I threw a whole scoop onto it. And what I do is I take the samosa, I break it apart because I want all the sauce to go inside and infuse the potatoes and stuff, like soak it all up. So it was too late because the green stuff already infused. I took a bite in it. It was just not good at all. I don't know what you guys put in there, but it's not good.
Again, our samosas are different. Like ours are triangles, like they're actual triangles. They're not so thick and bulky like the ones that you're talking about.
Yeah, I like those.
Ours are very thin and like they're very hearty with meat, and either meat or chicken. Yeah, so ours are.
They taste different, right? Because they have different spices inside.
Yeah, and so the ones that you're actually referring to, John, they're the shell is made out of like flour. It's like a flour dough. Ours is actually like a different kind of pastry.
Like a phyllo or something, or?
No, it's not a phyllo. Like it is, I don't know. It's not a phyllo because phyllo's too thin. This is thicker.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's like, yeah. Anyways, so now when you're turning to comfort foods, is it a lot of times because it makes you happy? Is it because it reminds you of something? Or is it because you want to sort of get yourself away from what it is? Or is it to take you to a whole different country?
All of the above. I yeah, I mean, like that dish I keep talking about, my dad's short ribs. It brings me back to when he made it when I was a kid. So that was a dish I look forward to because he used to announce it like, I'm gonna make your favorite dish. And so I would be happy, like I'd be waiting to come home to I'm gonna have a great dinner, right? So now is I miss it because those are the times where he would, I guess, it's kind of like he puts his heart and soul into the dish because
Yeah.
he can make it, So it's kind of like a family moment as well. So that's kind of why I want to replicate it because again, it's trying to carry that tradition through to pass it on because it's sad. I mean, my mom and dad have so many recipes that I love that is going to be lost because they don't know how to write it into English. And a lot of it's not even recipe. They just put it together. Like there's no measurements.
It's not, John, I have a suggestion. This is what I did with my mom and dad. They are amazing cooks. I videotape them.
Oh, like that's what I was going to say. Just film them.
Yeah, I do. And I have something for each dish that she makes. So we're going to eventually put out our video eventually.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Like you have a catalog of, this is the.
Exactly. And you know what? We have so much fun and we laugh like crazy. Even though they're doing a pinch of this, a pinch of that. But you know what? There's so much love in it and brings back memories. And so we talk about the past. And yeah, it's just a great bonding experience.
I think my dad would think that's kind of weird. Filming over his shoulder, and like, hey, what are you doing?
Go from the front.
Yeah, from the front.
Oh, just film him like I'm filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember, you're a father, you want to pass on certain traditions, right? And that's a great way is to record it. Like we're actually kind of lucky in the sense that we do have technology where we can, put all this stuff forward, right? And that's what like my sisters have been doing. I could care less about the kitchen too much because for me, it was always like when I was in the kitchen helping my mom, it was literally, I had to wash the dishes, like pots and pots and pots and pots of dishes because my mom's a phenomenal cook and she could cook up to like for 500 people, no problem. And she's done it many times. And I'd have to sit there and wash the dishes. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to be in the kitchen unless I'm calling the shots.
And John, interview your dad, and ask some questions. It's like, how many pinches or how many teaspoons are you putting in there? What ingredient are you using right now? What are you putting in the bowls? Just keep asking, because then you can share it with everyone.
It would be like just a video file that'll never go away because, if you think about what happened in the past, people wrote down recipes on a piece of the paper and then those recipe books or binders would get passed on through generations and they would get bigger and bigger and more messier and more, they start to fall apart, right? But now with technology, you can literally just send 500 recipes by video to your kid in a vault kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
We'll do that.
And get your kids involved in it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll have a good time with that.
I should get my kids to videotape my dad.
Yeah, exactly. Everything hands on.
Yeah, then for sure he'll let them do it because I don't think my dad might not let me film him in front of the.
No, it'll be easier. You're right. It's easier if your kids videotape them, just because your relationship is different than it is with your kids and your dad. Kids can get away with pulling out a camera and videotaping and whatever, and so yeah.
Also, that's a good way to do it too because it just came to my mind that probably the way he explained things would be simplified.
Yeah.
For kids to understand, so that anybody would understand.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask him. So maybe I'll share the short rib recipe with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We'll love to see the video, and then maybe you can put it on Healthy Way Vibes one day.
Yeah, we do a recipe of the month kind of thing. Cool.
I'm sure we're gonna have a few recipes of the month.
Yeah, for sure. So what are some healthy foods, like Fatima already mentioned McDonald's, but what are some healthy foods that you had in the past, but that you guys avoid now because that it's not the best for you? Like, I'm not saying to avoid it, but like you just totally just reduced what it was.
Well, since I went gluten-free and dairy-free, I have to be very mindful of what I eat. But what one of my challenges are, I love spicy foods. It goes back to my comfort food of curries and putting a dash of this, or even putting chili or sriracha. I won't go to ketchup, but I'll eat certain things. But now, being present and trying to cook for my husband and myself and being healthy, I cook a lot of salt and pepper. I have a lot of fresh ingredients like chili peppers or jalapeno peppers. I'll also try to grow I'm trying to grow my basil, you guys, and some peppers. But basically, I just use those spices to bring it up. Or I actually, when I'm at home, my husband is an Indian Fijian, I don't know if you guys know this or not. So I don't cook a lot of curry at home, and so I cook like prawn curry now and then, or beef or a fish. But basically, I leave my curries for my parents. I go there and cook with them, and I enjoy that.
How are you, Fatima? What's your naughty comfort food?
Naughty comfort food?
Besides McDonald's, besides the Big M.
Chocolate cake.
Oh,
Lucky.
we didn't even talk about desserts.
I know. Desserts.
That's another topic there.
My comfort foods are all naughty. They're all naughty. So I don't know. Like I went to Starbucks one time and they had this chocolate cake. It was a chocolate bun cake. Oh my Lord. I bit into it. It was orgasmic. Okay, that's how good it was.
Do they still have it?
No.
Huh?
No.
You don't have it anymore?
No.
Oh, geez.
And then if you go to like Earl's, they used to have like a killer mud pie. They decided to take that off the menu.
I remember that. I remember the mud pie.
It was like a killer mud pie.
It was like a big piece of wedge pie or whatever.
It was amazing. Like, chocolate is also really a comfort food. I don't care what you say. I'm not giving up my chocolate. I will not give up.
That means you have to walk a lot faster, exercise more to burn it off, Fatima?
No, chocolate, I don't put on any weight with it. I don't put on any calories, nothing. Chocolate is, hey, if I can eat a whole Red Robin mud pie.
And you didn't gain any, like, no weight, you said?
No, but I was off the roof. I was bouncing off the roof. Like, but mind you, I also made $400 off of that. But I won't give up my chocolates and my desserts. But on the healthier side, like, I love popcorn. I absolutely love popcorn. But I won't add like butter, salt, or any of that. I just plain popcorn is great. Like, I'll put like a basil sometimes on it, like dried basil, parsley.
Okay, so you do the sweet and not sweet and savory, the savory, because there's sweet versions of popcorn and there's savory versions.
Yeah, see, the caramel is like, it's a deadly treat. I'll have that like once in a blue moon, like Christmas time. But I'd rather, because when I'm watching a movie, I like having popcorn, so I'm not gonna have that on a regular basis.
You just triggered like a memory.
Okay, what was your memory?
You know those Hawken cheese sticks?
No.
Okay, you guys don't know the original, but in Canada, they created, those crunchy orange cheese things? They're really crunchy. They're called Crunchettes or Cheetos.
Yeah.
Not the puffy ones, but the really crunchy kind of.
Yeah.
Well, the original ones were called Hawkins. They're a Canadian company back east. And they're in that orange bag with the striped bags. You ever seen that? That I can finish like 10 pounds of that.
Oh my God.
But it's very bad for you because it's they haven't switched it to non-trans fat. So they're still using that's what makes it taste good, because of the fat, right? But that's one of them. The other one is licorice, like just Twizzlers. Oh,
the red or the black?
Red. It's gotta be red.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I could share with you guys with Fatima is I do have the odd chocolate, but it has to be dark chocolate with no dairy in it.
No, like no nuts, no nothing, just plain dark chocolate.
Plain.
Okay.
That's it. I know it's kind of dry, but hey.
No, I'm
having a piece of it.
chocolate's my weakness too. The three things that used to be my vice was, which some of them still are, is chocolate, coffee, and burgers. So I got rid of the burgers. Burgers are something I can just have it once in a while. But the coffee is, you guys know I'm cutting down.
Yeah.
Coffee. So my coffee is only on Saturday and Sundays now. I only have 2 cups.
Oh, good for you.
One on Saturday, one on Sunday, just as a treat. I don't miss it. I'm not getting any headaches, so that's good. And then, so that's kind of comfort food, right? Like a hot cup of coffee in the morning is that's comforting for a lot of people. And so what do you call it? So coffee, and then so chocolate though is, if I would never buy it, that's the funny thing. But if it's in the house, it's gone.
That's like me. Like literally, they have to hide chocolate. Okay.
Okay, so my wife hid it. She hid all
Is it on you?
because okay, so this is a bad story of what happened. We bought 2 cases of chocolate bars.
Oh my goodness.
Each of them had 12 bars. You ever heard of that Green and Blacks chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay, you know they come in the flat bar, right? I don't know how many I ate, but she bought 24. There's only 4 left.
Oh my goodness.
So you ate 20.
I don't know, but I don't think I did.
It's all a blank, isn't it, John?
No, they're the size of 2 cell phones, right? So each bar, but I don't eat the whole thing. But I'm like, so she's asking about, I only ate maybe 2 myself. So you must have ate like 18. It's like, I don't think so. And this is over the last 3 months because we bought those 2 cases 3 months ago.
Okay,
Oh.
3 months. I would have been like done in like.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad.
I thought it was at one sitting.
No. It's almost like, you're just sitting there and you're working, and then you're in front of the computer, you break a little piece off and you just keep eating it.
Yeah.
Like the whole bar is gone. But you forget the bar is like 8 servings, not 1, right? So you just look at it and go, I just ate 2.5 times the sugar or the carbs for the day.
That's how it is. Like
Oops.
What's that?
that's how it is. Like with London. So chocolate from London, the Dairy Milk. Oh my lord! Like that. Like that's the only one that I like plain. But it's fun. Like it's just orgasmic.
Oh,
Like- Orgasmic.
what's that other brand? There's another brand of chocolate. Is it Hershey's? Not Hershey's. There's another brand of popular chocolate. I think it was Cadbury. In
Yeah.
Australia, it's different than here.
They're all
It's
different. If you go to every single one of them, they're all different.
The recipe is slightly different,
Yeah.
so it tastes different. And so my friend from Australia came here, and it wasn't exactly the same, but he had to go. The first thing he did when he landed was he went to the London Drugs and bought like a 12-pack of Cadbury whatever chocolate bars, and he just kept eating them.
Oh wow.
That's what he has at home. It was the fruit and nut one. You know the fruit and nut one?
Yeah.
That's what he liked. And I go, what are you buying like 5 or 6 of those? He goes, that's what I eat. I eat 1 a day. I was like, holy cow.
Talk about addiction.
Yeah, and that was milk chocolate, so it's fattier too, right?
So we actually have a comment on the chocolate saying high percentage dark chocolate is a good source of magnesium, which is also calming and helps with anxiety. So I mean, yes, chocolate is like it's the devil's food, but it's also actually like the darker it is, the healthier it is for us, and there's also antioxidants. So chocolate isn't so bad after all, but I mean, you got to make sure it is the dark proof as opposed to the milk or the white.
Yeah.
White, don't even bother. Don't even bother with the white because it's just sugar.
It's not even chocolate.
No, it's just plain sugar.
Yeah, sugar and flavoring. But I think dark chocolate is good after 65%, is it, or 60%?
Higher the percentage.
Higher the better. But I think the benefits from all the
I don't know if it's
health benefits
80%
were, I think
everyone.
it's 60 or 65 or something like that. But
Yeah.
usually I'm up in the 70s anyways, 60s,
Yeah.
70s and 80s. So it tastes like if you're not used to dark chocolate and you
It's
start
bitter.
It is bitter.
It is bitter. It's very bitter.
My kids don't like it. They think it's eating like concrete.
It's a very acquired taste. Once you get used to it, you're okay.
Can't go back to milk.
I can have it.
You can
Anything except for white.
yeah.
I have that at least once a month. That's my comfort food.
I have to go through the house and find them. The other I know there's 4 sitting around the house somewhere.
Whoa. Okay. Well, let us know when
Use
you're done.
your nose to detect it.
It's not even the plain chocolate. It's dark chocolate with candied ginger.
Ooh,
That's what it was. So I ate. If she's saying what she said is right, I ate 18 of them in like
My
5.
sorry, my last chocolate before I went to dark chocolate was Lindt chocolate. I used to love Lindt chocolate, how it melts in your mouth. Oh my God, I must have ate the whole box and got really, really
Those
sick. And then I got,
little round balls.
no,
Those
I
are
ate the
so
whole
good.
I know they
hey
melt in
guys,
your mouth. It was great.
do you guys remember the saying, life is like a box of chocolate from Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
There's so many choices. So many choices.
Now, well, if you go into Lindt, like if you go to any of the Lindt stores where they have those little balls, and you can buy like so much for you can buy like 50 or 100 of them in the little sock bag. Well, I just went to Lindt at the outlet. They have a dark chocolate one.
No, really?
Yeah, it's a dark chocolate ball with dark chocolate, whatever that softer part inside. I think it's like 70%. It's like the best. So now they have it because I was waiting for a pure dark chocolate Lindt ball, but before it was either just the outside or just the inside. This is pure now. So get it. I think it's the wrapper is dark. I know. I think it's black. I think it's black.
Does it have any milk in it though, John?
I don't know.
That's what I have to.
But it's it's a dark chocolate. So if they I don't think they do. It's just cocoa butter or cocoa powder.
Otherwise, I'll be all over that.
Go. Fatima just have those at her. I remember seeing Fatima had a bowl of candy next to her at one time. That would be like the chocolate Lindt balls and just be like.
That's why I don't go into the Lindt store, because it's kind of deadly, because you could just pop them and go and, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
I try to keep chocolate away from me because, I love chocolate so much, but I will go out and buy it. And if they have it at home, I will find it and it'll be gone.
But again, everything in moderation, right? I mean, if you even dark chocolate said even if a little piece is good for you every day, it's just we're not stopping at one little piece.
No.
And you have to up your lifestyle. You have to exercise more or compensate for it somehow.
Yeah.
So as we come to an end, do you guys have any last remarks that you want to talk about with comfort foods and how they've affected you?
I think it goes back to you have comfort foods that you've picked up along the years, but then you have comfort foods that came down from generations. And I think that's important to maintain. So yeah, definitely I'll take your advice to try to get my dad to videotape himself to make the recipe so that because there's dozens that even if he gave the recipe, it's not the same because it's the technique and that the how, not the what, is what makes the dish.
Exactly, I think that would be.
You want it to be the same, right? So I'm gonna try that just to maintain that. I don't know what you call it, like the heritage or whatever you call it. Yeah.
For me, I just want to say that even though I love my food and I sit there at my mom and dad's place and my mom goes, have more, piles and piles. Don't go for a second plate or a third plate. No, have it in moderation. Enjoy it, savor the moment. And that way you won't get sick of it.
Yeah.
Got too much food.
Fatima?
For me, yes, enjoy your comfort foods, but also find healthier options for it. There's definitely much healthier options than a McDonald's. But enjoy what you have, but also be very mindful of how you can be healthy and change your lifestyle so that it does allow for more healthier options. Sorry, I'm just like really sunburned.
Don't take off your top, Fatima.
No, I'm not. I'm just sunburned, so I'm trying to figure out how to get my top not done.
That's a different show.
That's right.
Not here. Sorry, that ain't happening here. Wait a second. If I'm not mistaken, John, you had done the striptease.
What's that?
You'd already done the striptease for us.
How?
At the beginning of our show.
Oh, I still had clothes on. That's different.
But yeah, no, I mean, there are comfort foods, but just make sure when you are eating your comfort foods, you're looking at why you're eating them. Is it because you're emotionally eating, or you're just eating for the sake of, you know, like you're actually eating for the memories, the joys, the, you know, like what goes with it. So just keep in mind why you're eating that comfort food.
Mhm.
Is it feel good, or does it have a long-term effect to it? Any questions that we have from our audience? Someone just had one piece of their dark chocolate.
Good for you.
We'll join you in a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly, Jenny. We'll join you in a few minutes.
Let us know what's your favorite dark chocolate.
Yeah,
We want to know.
Tell us what kind of chocolate. Black and greens. I think it's called black and greens. That's mine.
And where'd you get that from? Whole Foods?
Whole Foods, Famous Foods, or even like Nesters and stuff. I think even like Shoppers and Superstore carries it now too.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful day, and stay tuned for next Thursday as we talk about how parents have influenced our lives. Then the following Tuesday, we'll be talking about crystal healing, and we will have our social media series. We're just trying to finalize that, and stay tuned for when that airs as well. That'll be a great series for you to follow. If you haven't already, please check out our Facebook page, The Healthy Wave Vibes, and make sure you guys like us and follow us so you can stay up to date with all of our videos. And if not, our YouTube channel and also our website, The Healthy Wave Vibes. Until later, stay tuned. See you again. Bye for now.
Bye. Have a great day.